Bird Box is the Netflix film directed by Susan Bier. Don't know who that is. I think she's kind of a well-known TV director. Stars Sandra Bullock and John Malkovich is in here. Other than that, there wasn't really anybody that stood out to me. And it's definitely kind of like a Quiet Place type film where you have this invasion of some type of creature. And instead of like in A Quiet Place where you had to be super quiet, in this one you cannot look at the creature, which you can't even really see the creature. So that adds an extra level of craziness to it. It's kind of just like a feeling, or the wind blows a little bit and it's like a little blur maybe, but you can't really see it. But if you look at it, then you will basically, happening style, just commit suicide. And then there's this extra layer, like I guess they kind of like recruit certain ones who can see and don't commit suicide, but get other people to look at the creatures. This movie has some kind of weird like logic to it sometimes. Like there's parts where for some reason if you hide in a house and cover all the windows, these creature things don't go into the house. I don't know why, but they just don't. I guess they don't like walls or doors. But it starts off with Sandra Bullock. She's pregnant. She's with her sister. You get a little bit of kind of the flashback to as this is going on, and then you flash forward a lot to 5 years later when she's kind of on her own and they're traveling on a boat with these two little kids. And you kind of like slowly going together, melding the two timelines. Sandra Bullock was pretty good in this. There are some really cool, creepy moments. The idea of just driving around completely blindfolded or walking around blindfolded, it's creepy. Is it as good as A Quiet Place? No. Is some of the stuff kind of silly, like The Happening? Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got some happening. It's like, feels like A Quiet Place ripoff with some happening stuff going on. If you don't know, The Happening was kind of an environmental movie where the trees were making people commit suicide, by M. Night. Ugh, one of his worst movies. But Sandra Bullock was pretty good. John Malkovich was pretty good. I did like the stuff that was going on. Like, it felt like kind of like a zombie apocalypse movie at the beginning of the movie, where Sandra Bullock and the stuff that's happening right as the apocalypse starts to happen, where they're all trapped in a building and they're trying to make it to a grocery store. That felt like old school zombie apocalypse kind of movie stuff to me, and I enjoyed that. It's the second half of the movie where I was kind of like, every time we would flash forward to where she's just chilling on a river with these two kids, there's some really cool, creepy moments, but I just wasn't as interested every time it would flash forward to that storyline. Like I said, there's some logical things in this movie that don't make a whole lot of sense, like the creatures not being able to go in there, and the fact that you can't ever really see the creatures. So I'm not sure how that goes. To me, if you just looked at the ground constantly, you didn't really have to. Everybody wears blindfolds so they don't see them. But there's multiple times where people are just like, screw it, I'm gonna go out there, and they kill like 20 bad guys, and then they look directly at some kind of weird whistling leaves, and then they become it. To me, if you just look at the ground, you probably would be all right. But anyways, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was interesting. It's not game changing. It's on Netflix. So, I mean, for free or for your part of your monthly subscription, it's worth a watch, especially if you like kind of like zombie apocalypse. If you really liked Quiet Place, you could probably check this out and maybe really get into it. But it's not fantastic. It's not as good as A Quiet Place. It's not as good as a really good zombie apocalypse movie. So, it was okay for me. I enjoyed it, but not enough to like probably ever watch it again. I'm gonna give Bird Box a 3.5 out of 5. Until next time, this is Randy Cage. Peace out.